Notice how the iconographers get it. Look at Jesus. Look where he is. That's not just a picturesque detail. The mountain of commissioning. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 to 20. The 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain to which Jesus had ordered them. When they saw him, they worshiped, but they doubted. Okay. Then Jesus approached and said to them, "All power in sky vault and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all the Israelites living among the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always until the end of the age." Here on yet another imaginary mountain, the transformed risen Jesus in turn transforms his inner circle from an inwardly oriented, tightly knit fictive kin group into an outwardly directed group of teachers and disciple makers. Earlier in Matthew chapter 10, the 12 were commissioned to preach, heal, raise the dead, and cast out demons, but only among the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They were not to go among the Samaritans or the non-Israelites. But here, Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 to 20, their ethnic focus is extended to fellow ethnics, fellow Israelites, living in minority enclaves outside of Galilee and Judea. They also receive new tasks to teach and baptize these fellow Israelites living outside Syro-Palestine. This is the third alternate state of consciousness experience among Matthew's 5 imaginary mountain reports. Having learned more about Jesus' identity in the Transfiguration, they now recognize the risen Jesus himself in his farewell appearance to them. His very last words assure his continued presence in their midst. He is always accessible. Matthew begins this final report by indicating that while some worshiped him, others doubted. In a culture where alternate states of consciousness experiences are considered routine and normal, the doubt could not have concerned the experience itself. Remember, the gospel reports that they already had such experiences with Jesus. For example, when he walked on the sea. So what is the doubt about? The doubt plausibly concerned the fact that Jesus was raised, was alive. Hadn't he been crucified shamefully? Why would God honor such a shamed failure? This is, after all, the only appearance to the disciples that Matthew reports. But since the Greek word translated doubted can also be translated hesitated, perhaps hesitated is preferable. Some drew the immediate and obvious conclusion, Jesus is risen, while others momentarily hesitated. According to Hansen, the equivocal response on the part of some might reflect Matthew's word of caution that perhaps not all, even among the leaders, were prepared to or capable of accepting this experience. One of the dangerous aspects of any ritual is that a participant may be unsuccessful in completing it. Perhaps the evangelist is alerting the reader or listener to that danger. Some might still be pleading, "We want to see Jesus," as in John chapter 12, verse 21. As those Hellenist Israelites sought out Andrew in the fourth gospel, whom they deemed the appropriate broker, believers who hesitate might similarly, be in search of the appropriate mediator. Conclusion. The 5 imaginary mountain scenes created by Matthew are quite in accord with his predilection for fives and his intention to associate Jesus with Moses. That's another thing I should tell you. John is obsessed with 7s. And if you're studying John, you know that. Well, seems that Matthew is obsessed with 5s. Okay? 5 discourses, 5 narratives that follow the discourses of what Jesus is doing, or rather precede it. 5 mountain scenes, like the 5 books of the Torah. 5 loaves that Jesus transforms into enough bread to feed the whole group, right? Moving right along. It is significant that 3 of these scenes are experiences in alternate reality. If these 5 mountain scenes present rituals that work transformations, the 3 alternate states of consciousness experiences serve the ritual process very well. Listeners to or readers of Matthew's presentation of Jesus as a model worthy of imitation can enter that process with greater confidence by means of the pan-human experience of an ASC. Matthew chapter 28, verse 20, the risen Jesus said, "I am with you always to the close of the age." Hey, thanks for watching. Just continue the playlist for the next part of the study. If you have further questions, this is good. They will get addressed, so keep watching. If you found value, please subscribe, like, and share. As always, questions, comments, and criticisms are most welcome. God bless you.